Okay. Hello, world. I think we're rolling here. Hopefully, we are. My name is William Georgeson, and this is my screencast for Project 4, or the final project in our class. I did a web application for a recipe search, which basically the application takes a recipe word term and tries to find those word or words in the title of a recipe from a web service API, and then allows the user to save any recipes that they would like, so they can come back to this web application and use the recipe again, or use the recipes that they saved. So this is the homepage of my project. And I'm looking at this now. I'm thinking, like, with a little more time, I probably could have added some more styling to this, but I'm already late with my project. So um, this is what I have, though. The homepage just lists recipes that have already been saved by uh, registered users of this web application, and they're in order by time or date, with the most recent at the top, going down to the oldest. And I've already signed up several users to just to kind of demonstrate this page, pretty much. And the heavy lifting that's really done by this application, though, is on the search recipes page, which a user can search any recipes, or at least get results for those recipes, and then save them as long as they're logged into the system, as long as they're logged into the database. I'm just going to, just for demonstration purposes here, do a search on Jello salad. And so from the API, we get information on several recipes that it matched those search terms with in the title. And I'm just going to kind of pretend like I'm a user who thinks that I've saved, or at least checked, one of these save recipe boxes, and show you what happens when I click the submit recipes button. So the idea is to click a recipe, or to check one of these recipe boxes for a recipe that wants to be saved by a user. And I just want to show you what happens when I don't check any recipes. You get this error message up here that says there weren't any recipes to save, and that happens for users that are logged in or not logged in. So I'm going to now, as a user that's not logged in, try to save a recipe. I'm going to just click this one here and go down to the bottom of the page and click submit recipes. And a message comes up that says I must be a registered member to do that. So I'm just going to actually start a new account here, sign up a new user, and I'll sign in Joe. I already did an account for Joe Biden. Who else is kind of famous in the news right now other than Donald Trump? I'll just do Donald Trump. What the heck? So Donald Trump needs a new recipe, and I'll just say his email is a Gmail account. And I will create a username for him and a password. And sign him up. So hopefully that worked, and it looks like it did. So I'm going to go to the login page and log Donald Trump in. And then it's going to redirect me to the home page. And I'm actually going to we've already seen this. I'm going to go back to the search recipe page with our new user logged in, and I'll just do another search on Jello salad. and I'll save double berry jello saddle. Looks pretty good, so I'm going to save that. And I'm going to save cherry coke jello salad, which looks pretty good too. So I'm going to save those to the database. And we get a message at the top that says the following recipes were saved for us. Now, I'm going to show you that actually did happen, but first I want to just kind of do a search here for the same user and show you what happens when a recipe that has already been saved, what happens when a recipe that's been saved occurs. So we did save, I believe, this one here. I'm going to try to save this recipe up here, which is a newer recipe. And we should get a message at the top of the page that says that one of the recipes has already been saved and one hasn't, but it has been added to the database. And that's what we get here. So this recipe was saved because it was a recipe that had not been saved under this username, and this recipe did not get saved because it was already there. So I'm going to actually just kind of, well, first actually I should just kind of prove that these recipes were saved for this user, or these recipes have been saved. So these are the 3 recipes that have been saved for this particular signed-in user. And I'll go back to the home page to show that that those recipes have been saved as the most recent recipes, which we are seeing here. We have the 3 Jello salads that were saved for D Trump. And then I'm just going to go to my search recipe script here that does the processing for saved recipes. And so we have, this will get triggered. This is the submit button that gets triggered when recipes are attempted to get saved by a user. And then we try to see if any recipes were checked to be saved. And then we check to see if that user is logged in. And if they're not, then this message comes up, which was demonstrated earlier. And then we're going to, what I did is I actually saved the API data that came back to the session, which is what this line of code is here. And I pulled all the recipes out of that. And then we're going to kind of run that against the array of recipes that have been trying to be saved by the user. And first we're going to create a new recipe account for that particular recipe with the user's ID, with the user ID for this particular user. And then we're going to run that, and we're going to check to see if that particular recipe has been saved for that user, and that happens in this block of code here. And if the recipes, if the return records come back without any records at all, then we're going to write a new recipe for the user. And in the process of doing that, we have to go back to the recipes table to get the recipe, because we need the recipe ID to write new ingredients or ingredients for that particular recipe to the ingredients table, which is a separate table from the recipe table, which made this project very challenging for me, I might add. So yeah, we're going through each ingredient then for each recipe, and then we are writing that to the ingredients table in the database. And then, based on whether or not the user got any old recipes, meaning that they had recipes or had a recipe already existing under their name for a recipe they were trying to save, or any recipes that they have not saved yet. So those are all going to get written to to the database. So a lot of code here, and you know, it'll take. I'm not even sure what I did here exactly, to be honest, but you know, I got it to work, and it works. So I'm going to go back now to the actual web application, and I'm going to log this user out. I'm going to, down in the footer, I have a link to the administrative functions for the site where I can either edit a user profile, or I can delete a user. So I'm going to go to this, and I have this under HTTP or HTTP authentication, and so I'm going to enter the username and password in, so we can go into the administration. So here's all the users that we have in our database. I'm just going to, I'll try to edit Aaron Rodgers information here. So we get the username, first name, last name. I'm going to just, Aaron Rodgers called me and said, I want to change my username back to, and this is, of course, something that the user can do by themselves anyway, with more functionality implemented in this website. But Aaron Rodgers wants his username to just be Aaron A. Rodgers. So I'm going to try to save that. And if we go back to we have a confirmation message here that it's successfully updated. I'm going to go back to the administration page here, and we should see that his username has been changed to A. Rodgers. And now I'm going to try to delete Aaron. Aaron's become unruly, and this is something that that is very similar to what we did in a past assignment, I believe. So, are we sure we want to remove the following user from our system? Yes, I want to remove him. So, submit that, and we're going to go back to the administration page to see if he's there, and he's not. So it looks like he was successfully removed from our database. So that basically is my project 4. And thank you for watching. Hopefully it was interesting and made a little sense. So, okay. So long.